Joining us now to discuss with more insights ahead of SBF's trial is CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's absolute, positively must-read State of Crypto newsletter. Happy Monday, Nick.
Good morning. Happy trial eve.
Oh, yes, indeed. The trial starts tomorrow, Tuesday. What are you expecting tomorrow?
Tomorrow, honestly, I think it's going to be relatively straightforward. We're expecting jury selection, the voir dire process. Prosecutors expect that's going to take the better part of the day. So I would be a little surprised if we got to any of the substantive parts of the trial, the opening statements, the arguments themselves. But tomorrow should still be interesting. As you saw in the video, we'll get a better sense of, which group of New Yorkers will compose the 12-person, 2 alternate person jury that's going to try Bankman-Fried on the 7 different charges he's accused of.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the most, I think it's going to be the most exciting part, jury selection, because I don't know if people watching this have ever even been on a subway where you have a dozen people or more New Yorkers. It can be contentious at the very least. So that should be a lot of fun. Of course, we're disqualified from probably being jurors on there. But I would have loved to have sat in that jury. Anyway, so the judge is saying to Sam Bankman-Fried, stop blaming the lawyers at FTX for the collapse of FTX. What's that all about?
Yeah, so this was a filing in order yesterday. I don't think the judge is really necessarily saying stop blaming the lawyers outright, but what he ruled is that if Bankman-Fried were to bring up, external counsel or even in-house counsel, because he's, kind of looking at both, in the opening statement, it might be somewhat confusing to the jury. The DOJ's objection was, we don't want to create the impression that he is just blaming the lawyers for what what his own actions were. Bankman-Fried's defense is, the lawyers were involved in all of these decisions. So he can still try bringing up this defense saying, attorneys, both external and internal to FTX, were involved in decisions to, for example, use auto-deleting messaging tools or setting up the North Dimension entities, which were certain U.S. entities that were tied to FTX, or approving loans to FTX and Alameda Research executives. So he can still try bringing this up later on in the trial after notifying the court and the prosecution, but he can't bring this up in the opening argument, at least.
Nick, separate from the trial that starts tomorrow, 15,000 Ether sitting in a wallet associated with last year's $600 million attack on FTX's wallets mysteriously moved over the weekend. Any insights on what happened there?
Late Saturday / early Saturday, I guess, depending on whether or not you had gone to bed by that point, we saw that the funds in this wallet began moving. So, as you mentioned, FTX lost about $600 million last year, the same day it filed for bankruptcy, the same day that Bankman-Fried stepped down from the company. Hours afterwards, that evening, some $600 million were taken from the wallets, or certain wallets tied to FTX. We never got an explanation for, who did that, how that happened, what exactly happened. All we know is that these funds were stolen. 15,000 Ether of that was stashed in this one intermediary wallet for quite a while. Woke up over the weekend. At first, it was just, about $4 million worth, about 2,500 Ether that moved. But by yesterday, all 1,500 Ether, or 15,000 Ether, moved. That was about $26 million overall as of last night's prices. And, a lot of these funds seem to have just been kind of moved through various routers and bridges and tools to, obfuscate where they're landing up. So all of them ended up moving through Railgun. ThorChain, I think, had the vast majority of the funds, a couple other tools. But, I think it seems fair to say that the attacker or whoever did this, the exploiter, is trying to cover their tracks, so to speak, cash out without, getting tracked too closely.
Weird coincidence.
Yeah, timing is crazy.
What are the odds?
The timing is crazy. All right, Nick, thank you for joining the show. We look forward to following your coverage of SBF's trial that starts tomorrow. So good luck. We know you're going to be in the courtroom. Good luck.
Thank you.
That was award-winning journalist, CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor, Nick Day.